Now, what fascinates me, not the arguments anymore. I think it's the confidence. Because usually when people don't have facts, they at least have the decency to sound uncertain. But with this case, some folks made up their minds on day one and then started shopping for reasons afterwards. That's pretty backwards. The verdict isn't even here yet, and people have already picked teams. And the strangest part, the loudest voices defending Carmelo Anthony aren't the story today. The story is who's pushing back.
Why do people believe that Carmelo Anthony is innocent?
He was not an aggressor. Karmelo was not an aggressor. He was minding his damn business when the boys came up to him.
Read the crowd. Read the creek. Karmelo Anthony wins on street. Read the crowd.
They silence Karmelo and his family.
The main reason that people think he's innocent is, well, because of his race, and people are mainly just siding with him due to that and just making it a race issue. However, the reason why he isn't innocent is because he did premeditate this. If you guys don't know, he said, "Touch me and see what happens," and then stabbed him. So he knew he was going to stab Austin Metcalf. And plus, self-defense, because he's trying to claim self-defense, is using reasonable force to protect yourself. This is not reasonable. He got pushed one time and then grabbed a knife and stabbed him. That is not proportional at all when it comes to protecting yourself. But what are your thoughts about this situation?
Yeah. Now, notice what she said.
Why do people believe?
Not that everybody agrees, not that everybody sees it the same way. Just that race doesn't magically erase responsibility. That's really the dividing line in this entire conversation, because somewhere along the way, a lot of people stopped asking what happened and started asking who did it. The moment identity becomes the evidence, the facts don't stand a chance, is all I'm saying. And that's why every new detail in this case feels like it's making people angrier instead of informing them, because some people aren't protecting a position, they're protecting a conclusion they already purchased. Now, watch this.
You can defend yourself with these. You can defend yourself in a different type of way. You don't have to go get a weapon and say, "Oh, well, I'm just going to murder somebody." Now, because you chose to murder somebody, you're about to face a trial that could have you in jail for life, possibly. Like, think before you do stuff. That's why conflict resolution should be a thing taught in schools. You have to think. You cannot sit up here and say, "Okay, well, I'm going to get a weapon. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that." No, but you also have to think about the consequences that you face if you choose to murder somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously. Now, that's the part nobody wants to sit with. People keep debating whether someone had the right to defend themselves. Fair conversation. But before you get to that question, there's another one. How many exits did you pass before you got there? Because modern culture has developed this habit of treating the final moment as if it appeared out of thin air. The shove, the punch, the confrontation, the arrest, the trial. But every story has a hallway before it reaches the door. And if you only examine the last 5 seconds, eventually you'll convince yourself that consequences came from nowhere. Which brings us to the actual testimony.
Odd that Carmelo Anthony was sitting under another school's team tent. Witnesses also said that 17-year-old Austin Metcalf repeatedly asked Anthony, who he didn't know, to leave. One student testified that Anthony was asked to leave roughly 15 times. Prosecutors say the confrontation escalated when Anthony pulled out a 5-inch folding knife from his backpack and stabbed Metcalf in the chest. Jurors were shown grainy surveillance footage that appeared to show this physical confrontation just lasted a matter of seconds. Anthony has pleaded not guilty to murder. His attorneys argue that he acted in self-defense and out of fear. Now, one of the key exchanges today came from an 18-year-old track athlete who knew both Anthony and Metcalf. Let's bring you to that back and forth. The prosecutor asks, was Austin starting to get mad? The witness says he was getting defensive. Someone we didn't know was in the tent. He's always leading. He's always protecting us. Prosecutor asks, after that, Carmelo said, "You will have to move me." Austin put his hand on his back. I saw Carmelo's hand go in the backpack. We're at a track meet. I wouldn't expect anything to be in there. Carmelo said, "Touch me. You'll have to move me and find out," trying to provoke him. Then what happens? The teen witness says Alston put his hands on him and then falls back. The prosecutor asks, how was Alston trying to move him? The witness replies, it was him trying to move him off his seat, a soft shove. What did Alston do? The witness then said, I see a hole in his chest and blood. He starts screaming for help. We're told from reporters inside the courtroom, meanwhile, that the medical examiner is testifying right now. Metcalf's family has stepped outside the courtroom so that they don't have to hear this. Meanwhile, Anthony, who is charged with murder, faces up to life in prison if he is convicted, John.
Brooke Taylor reporting from Texas. Brooke, thank you.
This is where things get expensive because narratives can survive opinions. They struggle when witnesses start showing up. Think about how many headlines, tweets, live streams, arguments were built around assumptions. Then the actual testimony enters the room. Now, suddenly, everybody has to decide whether they're following evidence or defending an investment. And that's why this case has become bigger than one courtroom. It's become a test, not a race, not our politics. A test of whether people still have the ability to change their mind when new information arrives. And if that sounds simple, spend 5 minutes on social media. Now let's get to the clip that probably has everybody talking.
See, I consider myself to be a Christian woman. And I'm not perfect by any means. I sin just like everybody else do. Because the level of hate that I have for niggas, that alone, I believe that it will send me straight to hell. Because it's cases like Karmelo Anthony's that really truly send me into a nigga hating frenzy. The mindset of you niggas truly need to be studied. And see, something told me not to react initially because a lot of things about this case just off the rip didn't even sound right. And one thing about our people, we are just so emotional. The best way to get us stirred up is to make it about race because we are the biggest racists. And with that, we play the victim mentality card. Something always has to happen for us to misbehave, and it's because we're black. Nothing just happens to supersede that. All the facts that we can literally just shove in your face will go literally out of the window because you were violated, because you were black. See, I truly believe that boy had all the intentions on killing somebody that day. Because here's the thing, you are a whole track star. You know how things are ran and how things go. But yet you chose to go to the opposing team's side with a backpack and a weapon. Why are you there with a backpack and a weapon? Now, these folks asked you 15 times to leave from their side, and you refuse to go. Instead, you make a threat saying basically, fuck around and find out. And you mean to tell me that nothing about that was premeditated? You was ready to use whatever you had in that book bag. Even with this boy shoving you. You could have just beat his ass or stuck him, something. But no, you wanted to kill. Because you reached inside that book bag and you stuck this boy in the chest. There was too many opportunities for him to turn around and walk away from the situation. But no, he really wanted to harm someone. And all because this boy pushed you, you felt like it was an opportunity for you to kill somebody. Now you want to claim self-defense. And you dumbass niggas is sitting up here saying that a boy, a human being, was worth losing his life over a push. See, in black culture, self-control is really scarce. That we see it every day. Niggas is fighting in all types of places. Niggas fighting churches. Niggas is fighting on fairgrounds. Niggas fighting everywhere because they don't have self-control. Nothing about that situation at all is screaming self-defense. It screams intent. He wanted to do it. As usual, you niggas like to always pull that race card. What the hell does black have to do with anything? He committed a crime. And the kicker about it all, they had 6 witnesses. And 4 out of 6 of them were black and they testified against Karmelo Anthony. They said that he was the aggressor. And you don't hear no black people talking about that. And see, that's the problem. Y'all like to pick and choose shit that fit that ghetto-ass rhetoric. When the facts and when the truth come out, y'all never have anything else to say. Sorry, but your boy is cooked. Toast. Burnt. You niggas stay looking at the end result, but never look at how we got there. If he did not go over there, sitting on the opposing team side, y'all realize none of this would have happened. But like I said, y'all always picking and choosing whatever fits your narrative. And y'all, and this is why I say black supremacy is a thing. Y'all have a thing with this whole black power shit. Because y'all mad that he has an all-white jewelry? Like, what make y'all think that if a black person was gonna be on the jury, he was gonna automatically get a pass? Cause Let Me would have been on that jury, baby. Guilty. Guilty. It's the audacity of y'all thinking that y'all own black people in every which way. To me, that is really freakishly mind-blowing. And just to put it out there as well, this just goes to show you that no matter whether, because he comes from a 2-parent household in McKinney, Texas, so this is a pretty nice area. Demons are demons, okay? You don't have to be in the hood just to be a demon. If it's in you, it's in you. He wanted to be a demon, he performed an act, and boom, here we are. You niggas really irk me in every inch of my soul, using that as an excuse to get away with everything. You guys never ever hold yourselves accountable to nothing. And then at the same time, you have people out here in the world thinking that me, other black people are like you niggas. That shit makes me so angry. And that's why I have to pray, because I'm telling you, the hate that I have, I need to try to find some love. I need to dig deep in my soul and get on my knees and pray and find some love in my heart for you niggas, because it's just I just don't have any.
Now, forget whether you agree with every word she said. That's not what caught my attention. What caught my attention is the frustration, because underneath all the emotion, she's describing something that happens constantly. The speed. People reach conclusions at light speed now, before evidence, before testimony, before trials, before facts have even finished putting their shoes on. Everybody wants to be first. Nobody wants to be accurate. Social media rewards it. If you're wrong next week, who cares? The algorithm already paid you yesterday. Meanwhile, the people trying to sort out reality are left cleaning up a mess created by people who treated homicide investigation like fantasy football. And speaking of things people don't want to admit, watch this.
You see, white people, we can't comprehend this for 2 reasons. Number 1, we're not raised to have a victim mentality. Number 2, we're not racist. I'm sure there's some white people who are, but as a whole, as a culture, we're not. Just like I'm sure there's some black people who are not racist, but as a whole, as a majority, they're racist. And I don't care what anybody says. That's the facts. That's exactly what we're seeing. The most racist people out there, the most racist group of people are black people. That's a fact. A lot of these people did not donate to Karmelo Anthony because they thought he was innocent. They didn't care. They donated to him because he took the life of a white kid, and that's what they support. That's what they want to see more of, and they donated for that reason and that reason alone. And it's sad. It's a sad position we find ourselves in this country right now, but that's the reality. Not enough people have the guts and the backbone to say what I just said. Don't care if it offends you or not. That's the truth, at least the way that I see it. Maybe I'm wrong, but the most racist people I know are in that culture, and it's sad. And they hate white people for no other reason than our existence. And that's the reality.
Now, whether you agree with Derek's entire argument or not, there's a question buried underneath that's worth asking. What exactly are people donating to? That's the uncomfortable math, because money is honesty. Comments lie, posts lie, hashtags lie, but money usually tells the truth. When people open their wallets, they're revealing what they actually believe deserves support. And that's why fundraising conversations make people nervous. They force everybody to stop speaking in theories and start revealing priorities. You know, the bigger lesson here isn't even about Karmelo Anthony. I think it's about what happens when tribal loyalty becomes more important than objective reality. Because once that switch flips, evidence stops being evidence and becomes an obstacle. And when facts become obstacles, truth doesn't lose all at once. It loses one excuse at a time. At the end of the day, the jury's job isn't protecting anybody's feelings. It's to examine evidence. The public's job shouldn't be much different. You don't owe loyalty to a narrative. You don't owe loyalty to a hashtag. You don't owe loyalty to somebody because they share your skin color, your politics, your background, or your team. What you owe is honesty. And honesty gets real lonely when everybody else is busy picking sides. So, let me know what you think below. You think this case is being judged by facts, or is it being judged by identity before the facts ever have a chance? If you made it to the end, I want you to type the word foundation. Y'all be safe. Go check with somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.